Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This is not a Sunday chat, or not a proper Sunday chat, for two reasons. One, I've just got too much to do. Everything needs watering out here except the mounts. 3 of those still do. So while I'm watering everything, Cymbidiums no, they get done separately, as do the Pleonies, but it still leaves a lot. And during this watering session, I'm having my clear out. So things that have had long enough and still haven't started to grow or show any signs of movement or anything like that, they're going out. So this is the, what do you call it, night of the long knives. It won't be a huge number. There's going to be 1, 2, 3 mounts. 3 mounts will get dumped. Yeah, that's all. 3 mounts are going to get dumped, and the other plants that are going to get chucked are going to be in the Oncidium range. Some of them will be what have been called Derek's plants that I have now owned for many, many years and are still just 1 or 2 bulbs in a pot and not growing and just not expanding. So I'm fed up with them, so they're going to go. The sentimental value that went with them when I first got them has long since been lost, quite honestly. And there's a couple of my own Oncidiums that are going to go as well, but I will show you those as I go round. I'll just stick the camera to one side and I'll just show you what's going to get dumped and why, my thoughts behind why I'm no longer putting up with it in my grow space. It's taking up space and making it look untidy. Right, and the other reason is it's Monday. And many times, or sometimes, I've had to do the Sunday chat on the Monday and it doesn't work. It doesn't perform the same role as the Sunday chat does. People tend to, well, they've told me that they do things with that Sunday chat, like they water their own orchids while listening to that, and they like the way that goes. And it doesn't work on Monday because, well, possibly they're at work or something like that. Anyway, so that's the reason I'm not doing a proper one. Update on the weekend. We did manage to get stuff done. I finished the decking boards except the last one, which needs a long cut. Which I was thinking of marking it and then taking it to my son to get it done with the, with the circular saw. And then I thought, okay, it might take a while, I might have to have a couple of rests, but I could do that with a handsaw. And then it's done. Here, last board down. Okay, I've still got a couple of bits to do at the front, a couple of front panels to put on. But having decided we're going to plant up the back corner and not bother trying to repair it, that's now not an issue. It's not even really an outstanding job, because while we've got this weather going on, I'm not planting anything. I'm not buying stuff to transplant into the ground when we're in the middle of a heat wave. They would suffer and not become established quickly. So I'm not doing it. So we'll get the plants, many of which will come from the garden. They're already here. We'll split things off, and stuff like that. I just need one main shrub to go in that corner, which is probably going to be a buddleia. It makes sense. I want butterflies in the garden and everything, and a buddleia will put up with part shade, part sun, which is what that corner gets. So that's probably what it will be. The 2 nice purple buddleias that I've had have died. That pot is now, the 2 plants that were in there have died. The white one that I've got, that's progressing well. That will need the tops taken out of the shoots soon to make it branch. We get lots more flowers. They're not as big, but there's lots more of them, and that's what I want. So that'll be done soon. So I got on with the decking. I now have a bad neck, and the reason for that is the angle you're doing when you're drilling and doing screws up. You're over like this, kneeling down with vibration, and that's hurting. So I've got neck ache now, it's a bit stiff. It'll go. I had a bit of a stiff back yesterday afternoon after I'd stopped work. That's gone. So that you know, that good night's sleep and all that sort of stuff. So and my knees that I thought I was going to have trouble with, despite being on a kneeling pad, I use my kneeler like I did before. It's still kneeling. You know, my knees are not geared up to being knelt down. I mean, even Hannah said she very rarely kneels down because it's uncomfortable. She'd rather sit cross-legged or, you know, do something else. So anyway, so I did that, and then I helped with a few other bits and pieces. Hannah did lots of tidying around the garden. I will put a video together, whether it'll be today or not, I don't know. I could go around with the video in the heat of the day. I can manage that, you know, because it's not physical work, is it? So I'll probably get that update done just on what we got done and what's outstanding and why it got left. Because there's one whole side of the garden never got touched for a very good reason. But I'll cover that in the garden update. So I will do that video later today, but that video, as it's a proper garden update, will go on the other channel. That will go on the gardening and bonsai channel, not on this one. This is your video for today. And as I said, there isn't much else to say. The heat is not doing my cool growers any good. If it goes on too long, which is inevitable, it's going to last this week apparently, although it might cool down as we go into next weekend, which will be good, because by then I've had enough of it now, because it increases my workload. You know, there's much more watering has to be done outside, and it's every day, not just every second or third day. It's every day. I'm going to even put the hose on the main planted border yesterday. I'm not up to doing that every day yet, but I will probably have to do that again tomorrow, simply because it's hot and it's full sun. You know, later in the afternoon that part of the garden's in full sun. And with the heat, the combination of the two, obviously things start to dehydrate. And I don't want my ferns to go all tatty, you know, and brown tips and everything. So I want to try and keep stuff hydrated as best I can. So yeah, but we got some stuff done. Some, you know, decking got virtually finished, and a lot of tidying got done in the garden, trimming back and just, you know, tidying up. Anna's good at that sort of thing. So that's that. In here, these orchids, this watering run that I'm doing today on Monday should have been done on Friday, and with this heat that means stuff's going to be bone dry. Nothing's drooping, nothing's wilting, so I've often said that some people sort of panic and end up keeping things too wet. I'm keeping the air heavily moist. I mean, the temperature in here will get up to 27 today, but it doesn't do it until after lunch. So it's only half a day. If you think it's getting lighter not long after 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, it's been light a hell of a long time before the temperature climbs up. And then it starts to drop off again around tea time. So it's only at that maximum, 27 degrees, for about 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, which isn't enough to probably stop things growing. They'll just sort of think, oh, we could do without this. And then by the time they've realised that, they think, oh, it's cooling down again now. But it's not cooling right down at night. It got down to about 19 in here last night. I'd prefer it to get down to sort of 14, 15 for the cooler growers, but you know, it's summertime now, we have to put up with it. And this level of heat and this level of blue sky and lack of breeze, it's not going to last forever. You know, it's if it is, then there'll be some serious health issues for people with breathing problems and stuff, which might even involve me nowadays. Anyway, so a watering day today and night of the long knives. I'll leave the camera set up in the corner. I can just turn it on each time I come to a plant that I'm going to dump, and then I can show you it and give you the reasons why. And it might help some other people actually decide on those sort of finer choices, if you know what I mean. I'm excluding sentimental value, because if you've got a plant that was given to you, you know, on a special occasion or something like that, and it's special to you, then you keep trying, you just keep going. but I haven't got any like that. So, you know, we will be doing some dumping, and yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. It's not going to clear out loads of space because they're all small plants in small pots. It's just, they're just a waste of space. That's the thing. You know, and they come round with the watering each time, and you have a look at them and you think, it's still not growing, you know, sort of thing. So they're going to go. So that's that. And as I'm going to add bits on the end here, I don't think I've got any new members on Patreon or on YouTube, so I haven't got to update the thing on the end. But as I'm not doing this as a proper Sunday chat, we're not using that video template anyway, so so that won't come into it this week. Nonetheless, thanks, you know, for people who are members. It is appreciated. I've got an outstanding Project Orchids video, which I will get done this week because I want that project gone, and it should have been done last week. So, you know, it's now a week late, but I will get it done, and it's just to clear out the Cymbidium, the final plant 5. So I will get that done, and it's going to be a quick one. So that's that. Yeah, and just thanks for following the channel and sticking with me. I have noticed there's some orchid channels are an exception because they're climbing, some at a reasonable rate too, they're doing well. I don't begrudge anybody whose channel does well, that doesn't worry me. What would worry me if mine starts to go downhill, and to a degree it has. Over the last 6 months or so, my views on some videos are definitely lower than they might have been, say, a year ago, something like that. I don't know why, you know, I mean, I tend to do the same thing all the time. Maybe that's what's wrong. No, same old, you know, but you know, when most of your videos are about the orchid collection you've got, there's only so much you can say, there's only so much you can show, you know, so that's it. Now, all those people who put suggestions for videos on that, whenever it was, probably the last Sunday chat, but you know, obviously all those comments are saved away on YouTube. I will go through those and jot those down and make a note of them, and at some point I'll go over them as a video. These are the suggestions we've got, and those that I will discount on the grounds they're either not practical or for whatever reason, and you know, and say thanks to the people who've got suggestions that I think are workable. So not all the suggestions were workable. Some of them involved other people. Well, I can't do other people. You can't just say, "Oh, you're on a video." Most people just say, "No, I don't want to." So I have tried in the past. So that's that. And what's coming up this week? I've got the Rare Plants Fair on Sunday. Now, that starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's just up the road. It's where Bournemouth have their show. So it's half an hour away. I won't stay there all day because it's not all orchids. There's a couple of orchid sellers there, and it'll be of interest to me, if you see what I mean. So I'll probably have breakfast and get there for opening time at 10 o'clock, and I might stop and have a bite of lunch. It depends who's there. Depends who's there that I know. I might have some lunch with some people if there's some that I know that want to have lunch. If not, I'll probably be back early afternoon. So even though that's a Sunday event, I can still do next Sunday's Sunday chat. And who knows, I might have some new orchids. Who knows? I'm not on the lookout for any, but you know, things present themselves under my nose and I like the look and don't mind the price, then we may come home with some new orchids. So that's that. Hannah's not interested. She's already said she's not interested in the NEC, which is the middle of June. So I'm going to go on a Thursday. I've still got no word about the discounted Orchid Society member tickets. That still hasn't come through. I think I might have to give Lynn a reminder about that. Yeah, because I'm probably going to be the only one, because the only other people that are going to go are going to be on the setup team. And they're dealt with completely separately at the NEC. They get the special wristbands and jump through 10 hoops to get there. But as that's a separate thing, just the discounted ordinary member society tickets, I don't know how to get one, and I don't want to pay full price. I'd be reluctant to go if I had to pay full price, quite honestly. So we shall see how that pans out. And apart from that, I really do need to get on with my watering. I want to get it done so that I'm out of here before that sun hits the roof. And because that's when it's, as I said, it's comfortable in here now. It's, what does that say? That says 20, that says 20. It's about 21 in here, so it's really comfortable. I've had to turn the fan off for now. But it's 21 in here, and until that sun hits the roof it's not going to climb more than a degree or two. So I want to get all this watering done and get out of here before that happens, when I can shut the door, whack the fan on full, and if necessary put the humidifier on to get that humidity up to go with the temperature. Yeah, so there we go. I'll leave it at that for now. And as I said, this isn't the end of the video. I will still be filming the plants that are going to get dumped. It's a bit of a sort of, I don't know whether anybody's even interested in seeing plants that are going to be thrown away, but I think some people might be interested in why, because it might help others make those sort of decisions. There are reasons. I won't I'm not throwing anything away because I don't like it, let's put it that way. I'm only throwing stuff away because it will not grow, and it's had long enough to try, if you see what I mean. So we'll go through that. So I'll break off for now, and I'll be coming back like a bit at a time. I'll probably do it by shelf, so if there's several plants on a single shelf, because I water a shelf at a time, then I can show those all at once and then put the shelf back together, sort of thing, with some gaps obviously. Yeah. Okay, so I'll catch you in a bit, and we'll pick up on the stuff to go. In fact, I'll do the mounts now, because I'm not actually watering the mounts today, apart from the 3 bare rooted ones that get done every day now. So we'll do this one first. Some of these I don't even know what they are, because they haven't got tags. Now this is Dendrobium signatum that Lynn gave me. What's the point? That's been tried on a mount, it's been tried in a pot, and it's now being tried on a mount again. It won't grow. So that goes. It frees up some space, that's quite a large mount. As does this one. This is also quite a large mount. And this is, I can't read that. The tag's long since faded. But again, you know, it's sticks, it's frazzled sticks. There's no sign of life at the base, there's no greenery on it. It's just no point. So that's that. And then the other mount that's going to go. This one, once upon a time this had sentimental value, but that's, as I said, that's years ago and long since gone. Ooh, we might have to change our mind. Can you see that tiny new growth? Just there. So there's no growth on this. This is gone. This is all gone. But this larger piece here has a new growth at the base, which will produce some new roots. So we will give this one another chance. So we'll put this one back, and we'll carry on watering that and feeding it and see if it'll get going again. The trouble is, you see, the last few canes that it's grown, this is Dendrobium ophyllum. These canes should be 2/3 of a metre long. You know, this is just useless. It won't get going. But as it's got a new shoot and we're heading into the main growing season, we'll give it a chance. So we'll put it back. So that takes it down to 2 then. But yeah. So that's that. That's the mounts discussed. And as I said, I'll break off and we'll come back each time I need to show you something else that's on its way out. Okay, this is candidate number 1. I'm sure some people are going to gasp in horror that I'm dumping this. I'm dumping this because I've had it 4 years. It hasn't bloomed, and it does the same thing every year no matter what I do. I've tried more light, less light, higher feed, lower feed, And basically it grows one new cane each year with some nice leaves on, with a sheath in the middle that never blooms. And that's all it does, and it keeps doing it. It's a large, clumsy, top-heavy plant. It is, if you want to know what it is, or we could start saying was at this point, it was Dendrobium Aussies Sweetness crossed with Tapiniense. So it's a sort of hybrid cross with a species. Latoria type, and the chances are what's stalling this and stopping it progressing well is the cold temperatures through the winter. And so it's just got to go. It also does take up quite a bit of space, this one. So that's your first one. Right, so this is the next one. This is from my back tray on that shelf over there, which originally they were all rescues in there. And this one has been attempted to be rescued. The bulbs are shriveled. It hasn't bloomed for ages. It's got no ID. It's just a hybrid. And the latest growth didn't grow any roots, so I'm just going to write that one off. It's just not worth the hassle. It's not growing, and it's not doing the things a plant ought to be doing at this time of year. So that's that one. Right, here's another one. No ID. Had it ages. Old back bulb shriveled. This back bulb shriveled, and the leaf's going. And the new growth has got very, very weak roots, and the plant itself, the roots in the pot are actually dead. So it's just, you know, it's 3-4 years off full recovery and getting to blooming size again. It's just not worth the effort. So that's another one gone. No ID. I doubt if I'll even be able to find which one of the Oncidium hybrids that even is in my notes. Here's another one. This is definitely one of Derek's, and this has got a tag on it that says Oncidium Emrys Jones. There is no reference to that name on the internet, so it's obviously a made-up name. And the plant, it just won't do anything. Shriveled, back bulbs totally shriveled. It's been like this years. It's just not worth the effort. It's really not. And here's another one, totally shriveled, no sign of life, no decent roots. This one has actually got a name, Colmenara Masai White, and it's been like that too long to actually worry about, so that one can go as well. So say, I'm just fed up with these things just hanging around and doing absolutely nothing, so that one can go. Here's another one, no ID. It's an odont type that has very small flowers. It's nothing special. The roots in the pot are dead. Now, even though that does have a new growth, what does that give me? You know, some shriveled bulbs and one new growth. And it won't flower, it's too weak. So it's just not worth it. So there's another one. Another one, this has got a name. This is Odontoglossum, Oncidium Anna Claire. I got this off my friend Brian when it was a nice, strong, healthy plant, and it just, you know, it's put up a new growth that is incredibly weak, and it's got some really dodgy markings on the leaves. So I'm just going to get rid of it. It's not worth the struggle, despite it having very attractive blooms. I could keep that plant going and probably never see them again. So that's another one gone. Right, here's another one. I've had it quite a while. It's Masdevallia ignea, and if it was the only one I had, I might struggle with it because the blooms are nice. But when you've got a big one over there, you know, that's been blooming since I got it, this one can go. So it's another one gone. Sometimes you change your mind. In my memory from last time I watered, this was put on my mental list of those to go. It's Masdevallia Prince Charming. I've had it quite a while. It doesn't grow, but it's got a new shoot. And with a new shoot could come some decent roots, because all these roots around here are dead. That's probably the only live root on the plant. So it's only just hanging on, but with a new growth it might pull on. So we give that one a bit more of a chance. It's not going to get long though, it needs to pull on. Okay, I'm going to end the video there because the only thing left to water are the coleogenes, and I know that all of those are staying. So anyway, that's the clear out. You saw what went and why, including one that nearly went and stayed and why. But yeah, that's actually over this side. I've cleared out a complete one of my matting trays, so that's a complete tray freed up. And I managed to get a couple moved from there over to the spare slots in there in that tray where a couple got thrown away. So we've now got things spread into 2 trays that were in 3. So it has saved space. And the trays are a double bonus because it is a bit of extra humidity. That has a minute, but it has a slight cooling effect. When water evaporates, it is a cooling effect, but in temperature like 27 degrees it's going to have no effect at all, I suspect. But it would help with humidity. At the moment I'm overriding anything that the mats can do by putting the humidifier on to keep it high, which I will need to do now because it's starting to drop down, and our temperature is, we're now up to 22. So and the sun is just hitting the corner there, so I need to crack on and get these coleogenes watered, and then I'm finished in here for the day. So anyway, that was the clear out. I'm pleased. The stuff that's just been hanging around for so long, it was a waste of time. My main problem is there was quite a few in there that were just Oncidium hybrid, and there's lots in my notes that are Oncidium hybrid. I don't know which ones have been chucked out. I think what I might do is delete them all out of my notes, and then the ones that are left that are just called Oncidium hybrid, wait till they bloom, if they ever do, and then give them a name, like, you know, or a description of what the blooms are like, and put something on the tag to identify them so that I know what I'm doing in the future. Anyway, thanks for dropping by and everything, and not a proper Sunday chat, as I've said. It's a sort of Monday, bit of this and bit of that chat. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for dropping by. And a bit on the end. Just started watering this coleogeny shelf. There's 2 coleogeny shelves and they're all on those 2, apart from the Natida that's in flower. Now this one was facing the window. That was not there last time I watered in any shape or form. The size of that spike. Well, those are all buds as well, they're not sheaths. That is the tomentosa. It is a cascade, that is how it grows, and the blooms will hang down. They don't last a huge amount of time, but yeah, and that hasn't even come out of a new growth. That's come out of an old bulb. This one has done some funny things in the past, but it's certainly got a nice big new growth, which is producing roots, although it's got roots anyway. But yes, so we've got that to look forward to now. It is slightly fragrant, but as coleogeny blooms go, it's not one of the longest lasting ones, but it's very attractive. So we'll look forward to that coming soon. That can now come round to the front of the shelf so that it hangs over the edge. There we go.